This car has a lamb brake setup with 6 4-piston calipers.
With an unbelievable win streak, Big Chief has been the reigning king and the heart of the underground racing world for years. But after suffering many injuries from unpredicted accidents, does he still have what it takes to remain king of this fast and furious world? Will this race be the Big Chief's last? Join us on this thrilling ride as we reveal Big Chief's most thrilling street races against fierce challengers. The heart-pounding clash of the street race titans. On this night, a clash of racing legends is about to unfold as we have Doc, who is a daring challenger of Big Chief, fearlessly itching to take off the crown from the highly revered king in the game. Doc, also a seasoned street racer and longtime rival of the streetcar racing legend, is eagerly anticipating the opportunity to challenge him in this competition. Of course, he will win the race to have the record of defeating the reigning king. Interestingly, Doc is aiming to race to earn the top spot on the racers list. But unfortunately for him, he would need to race with the veteran street racer. He has used all his efforts, determination, hard work, and risks to attain and maintain the number 6 spot on the list. All that matters is that it is a wish come true for him to finally have to race with this enigma, as he has been desiring the opportunity for the past 3 years. Big Chief, on the other hand, has no choice but to go on with a face-to-face race battle with the fearless challenger of his. Now having his chance to prove himself as a passionate personality, Doc is thrilled to venture into this competition and, of course, ready to face his nemesis as part of the sacrifices, and the game is about to begin. However, before the race begins, despite his excitement and experience, he admits to feeling nervous. Definitely, it is a testament to the respect he has for the veteran driver, and more so to think of the fierce competitiveness of the race. Does Big Chief have a chance to win this very audacious challenger of his? As was very much expected, the legend himself is also determined to defend his position in the street racing hierarchy. However, he weighs the opportunity that the win against Doc could bring him. He sees the race as a golden ticket for him to climb back up the ranks with a potential rematch with Chucks, whom he lost to in a previous match. Recognizing the challenge his opponent poses with his impressive quick starts and consistent performance, Big Chief must put in the best of his efforts skillfully and harness his confidence to match his prowess on the track. He knows that a single mistake could lead to another devastating loss for him. Hence, as the two rivals prepare to face off, the stakes are high, and the tension is glaring for both of them. According to the Chief, he is facing a daunting challenge against his co-racer. He knows that his only chance of winning lies in a perfect pass with a perfect launch. Knowing that any error spells disaster, he has made some radical changes to his car, which include a new torque converter and an experimental fuel mixture. With these, he is determined to push his limits and take a chance on his innovative modifications. Along with other fellow top racers, the race began, and in a blink of an eye, it was a win for the Enigma. The king successfully reclaimed his throne as the king of the street race. However, it was a breathtaking race that was difficult for both contenders. Reflecting on the incredible intensity of the competition, both Big Chief and Doc found themselves relegated to the lower ranks of the street racing hierarchy. However, Chief laments that their skill and speed ought to place them higher. He attributes their position to an unfavorable matchup with another racer who outpaced them at the starting line. To everyone's surprise, there is controversy surrounding the start of the race. Both drivers appear to have left the starting line before the light turned on. Noting this fact, doubts began to creep in with the competition. Reflecting on the moments of the race, the reigning king seemed surprised to learn that he and his contender left the starting line early. Realizing that Doc actually made the first move, he questions how he could have actually jumped right in. This is where Chucks has to come in, where his observation of the race tends to bring the truth to light. His observation and judgment leads Big Chief to consider having to challenge his contender in another race again to ascertain his victory. To make it clearer, there is a need to check the video footage. With the video footage, there was undeniable proof that Doc jumped the start, even before the highly revered icon's tire cranked. Hence, as the situation becomes clearer, he becomes more determined to solidify his victory over Doc. Armed with the evidence, Big Chief confidently calls out his adversary for violation. He asserts that the race should be rerun to settle the matter once and for all. Doc was left with no option but to accept the challenge, and the stage is set again for a rematch between the two fierce rivals. You can imagine why he has to call for a rematch, even though it is obvious that the previous match was a win for him. But there is, of course, another round to race it better yet. What possible fate does he seem to have in the next round? Can he secure his dignity? Let's find out. The fight for respect. Looking at the state of things, the stakes became very high for Big Chief as he sought every seemingly possible opportunity for him to make the next round better than the first. Knowing that every round is a chance to improve, he maximizes the opportunity to make crucial adjustments to his car. According to him, having to delay a second in making these corrections could put him at a disadvantage as he eagerly seeks out the next race with his adversary. Big Chief's determination to make the most of his racing opportunities led him to successfully negotiate a chance to jump ahead in the race as the next round began. He powerfully skipped over Chuck and Dominator, another racer who were dealing with engine troubles. Luckily for him, the other racers allow him to take their spot in the rotation. This unexpected turn of events put this veteran driver in the perfect position to capitalize on his accepted choice of racing with Doc. Meanwhile, he shows his concerns about not being able to make timely adjustments to his car. As a professional and a legend in the game, Big Chief is very much aware of the problems of the same kind that he has encountered in his past races. For this reason, to avoid a devastating turn of events, he is determined to maintain his position and lead by example, ensuring that the list remains a competitive and dynamic part of the street racing scene. His passion and commitment to maintaining this list have led him to adopt his no-nonsense approach to maintaining the integrity of the rankings. Even when it means calling out the racers who are not pulling their weight as they should in the race, or trying to manipulate the course of the match to their benefit. Interestingly, this shed light on the real reason why he had to call for a rerun, even though he was the winner of the first round. Definitely, there is a need to preserve one's dignity and honor and maintain their long-earned respect. Unexpectedly, in the course of the next round, his focus on his goal is interrupted by a potential engine issue, projecting him at a loss in the race. Without delay, he and his crew need to investigate the cause of this predicament. Meanwhile, despite this setback, he remains totally unshaken and beautifully determined to keep on with the race smoothly and efficiently. Is he going to lose his crown cheaply like this as his car develops faults before the race even begins? The biggest defeat. In a conscious attempt to know about the state of the car, Big Chief and his crew try to check the engine issue of the car to know what is wrong with it. Obviously, the frustration at the uncertainty of the situation is seen wrinkling all over his face. In spite of this, his passion to prove himself and rectify his loss remains unshaken as it drives him forward. Luckily, the issue with the car was pinpointed, bringing a sense of relief and renewed confidence. With the car fixed, it is another opportunity to face off against his waiting adversary. Chief is indeed eager to reclaim his place at the top of the list and solidify his reputation as a legendary street racer. But fortunately for him, it is another win for his name. On the other hand, while reflecting on his loss, Doc talks about how he started to freeze in his worst fear before the race began. According to Doc, seeing Manny, a co-racer, clean up a puddle of water under his car just before the race put a chill on him. He began to have a sinking heart, knowing that to release the trans brake button could spell a disaster for him, with his slicks potentially slipping on the wet surface. Hence, he noted that, despite his valiant efforts, his start is hindered by the water, while the street racing legend pulls ahead in the race. On this note, even though he was defeated, he was gracious enough to congratulate the king on his victory while emphasizing his inability to overcome the unexpected obstacle that the water leak caused him. At the end, Doc accepts his loss with grace and good humor, and likewise, he acknowledges the fact that Chief's victory has allowed the king to maintain his revered position at number 6 on the list. Despite his defeat and disappointment, Doc remains optimistic, reflecting on the performance of his car throughout the course of the race. From all that seems to be said, racing first is always tough, especially when racing with an opponent whose skillful prowess is unmatched. What is more interesting in this situation, however, is how Doc keeps on demonstrating his commitment to perfection and readiness for another round. With this, he keeps on checking alongside his crew to ensure everything is in place. In the wake of his previous defeat, Doc's self-doubt begins to creep in as he second-guesses his car's readiness for the next round. He thereby expresses his regret for not having caught the attention of the water leak earlier. Further contributing to his unease, his frustration seems compounded by anxiety too. Probably he was frustrated and further lost in anxiety of having to witness his friend's rollover accident in the same lane he was about to race in. Regardless of whatever the case might seem in the actual sense, Doc's undying dedication to perfection serves as both a strength and a weakness for him as he struggles to regain his confidence in his car's performance, and his own abilities on the track did not go unnoticed. With his determined mindset, he resolves to put his doubts aside and focus on the race ahead. He then expresses his love for his crew and his appreciation for their support. Doc draws his strength from their dedicated spirits and teamwork as he prepares himself to face a new challenge with another racer, Monza. Aside from Doc, there have been other adversaries of Big Chief. Of course, there is no way he can do without that, as an enigma in the game. He attained his revered hierarchy after having to deal with so many of them in intense race competitions. Showing his almighty prowess and potential, he engaged in another competitive race with another fearless contender. Will this also be another fierce and heart-pounding racing competition? Let's find out how he deals with this. The unexpected turn of events. In this challenge, Big Chief is about to race Kai Kelly. This race, unlike any other, is based on a huge amount of betting. These two legends have raced for like 3 times on the streets before, in which Kai has managed to kick past the Racing Kings every single time. This poses a great challenge for the icon, as it is something he can't easily get around with. Fortunately for Big Chief, he was able to race his opponent twice at the track and win in both instances. One of these events was a big one in Bristol, and the winning prize was $60,000, which the Chief won. For him, it is the biggest feat anyone has ever had, and luckily for him, he won it by beating Kai in the semifinals. Acknowledging his feat, the street race titan noted how he was happy winning the match then, but now he becomes nervous because, on a good note, Kai is a very fast car racer. Big Chief was more nervous on the grounds that he was not going to use the same car he used to race at Bristol 2 or 3 years ago. For Kai, what the whole world wants to see is that any time there is an opponent lining up beside a guy like Chief, such a person has to hit the light. Not expected to shake or wiggle, such a contender has to go the whole 660 feet as fast as he can. Consciously aware of this, he is also focused on doing his best not to be at a loss with Big Chief. If he can manage to get past him and make it to the final, that feat alone will definitely put him in second place, with Lizzie, a co-racer, right behind him on the list. Kai is of course good on the light, and even Big Chief knows he can race 60 feet very well. But then, what will really be the outcome of this match remains unknown. As the light came on, boom, the race began. The cars started racing at a very high speed for a car race, but at the end, Big Chief emerged the winner again, winning the $40,000 cash prize. He put the challenger in his place to maintain his standing and position as the king who cannot be dethroned. Accounting for his loss, Kai noted how he expected to be in a car with his racing boss, but unfortunately for him, his car started shaking halfway through the pass. Big Chief's car ran perfectly, while his car didn't. It was indeed a drag race. On the other hand, Big Chief was initially unaware of his win. According to him, he was looking over the score and didn't know who won. He then praises his opponent for sticking to the spirit of fair competition. He further emphasized that he could have taken advantage of the rules, but he instead allowed him to build his boost. More so, his car ran better than it ever has. Checking the points on the board, he couldn't help but emphasize how Kai helped him win. It was a big point for him. With a good 25-point gap, he was fortunate to stop him in his tracks and relegate him to his third spot. Everything from there is a bonus for him. How has Big Chief been able to survive most of the crashes he has had in the course of the street racing world? The miraculous victories in history. As a known fact, the world of car racing has evolved to the stage of making it go round the world in reality TV series. Hence, the legendary Big Chief displays his prowess and enigma in the world of street racing through the reality TV show, known widely as the Street Outlaws. To know how Big Chief has survived many of the accidents and casualties in his street racing journey, while trying to film an episode on a Sunday morning, he got involved in a two-car accident with Brian Davis, known famously on the show as Chucky. Davis's Mustang got loose and tagged the rear quarter panel of Big Chief's twin-turbocharged '72 Pontiac Le Mans. The fan favorite, nicknamed Crow, was totaled along with Davis's Mustang. However, as they were both fortunate to survive the deadly accident, both of them graciously walked away from the crash site, but of course they were transported to an area hospital to be treated for some serious injuries they sustained. Speaking on the cause of the incident, Big Chief attests to the fact that they took a lot of heat for racing on the street. He said this while checking in from the medical center nearby the Street Outlaws filming location. He further stated how they take their safety as seriously as any drag racer. According to him, it is not possible to know how the twist in the race happens like that. Aware of this fact, one doesn't need to talk much about it until it happens like that. According to him, until things like that happen, there is no way one can come to the realization of the needed things that should have been done earlier. He said it is at that point that one really appreciates all the extra time and money that goes into making a car safe. Following the accident, Big Chief Darrell expects a full recovery as he was admittedly beaten up and suffered pulmonary contusions, fractured vertebrae, and a broken collarbone, amongst other various bumps and bruises. Further reminiscing about his previous attempts to make sure he is totally safe during the course of the races, he reveals how he had to take his car to Don Dial Race Cars, where he just wanted to put a new set of ladder bars under the car. That was back in 2010. He admitted that Don Dial actually saved his life from the ghastly accident that could have claimed his life. Hence the reason he is able to walk away from the harrowing accident with only moderate injuries. Trying to analyze his encounter with Don Dial, Big Chief emphasized how Don looked at him straight in the face and told him he was going to get himself killed with what he asked to be done to his car. Don told him emphatically that he wouldn't work on the car unless Big Chief allowed him to make the car safe on his own. Big Chief told Don he couldn't afford the cost of making it safer as he had suggested, but Don said to him that he has to find a way, because making the car safe is the most important thing. Left with no choice, Big Chief has to dance to Don's tune, which automatically saves him. Pouring out his mind in appreciation and in total regard to what Don has done for him, Big Chief reaffirmed that to consider how he was able to get out of the car and walk to the ambulance on his own after rolling over sideways, and at least from what he was informed about how the somersaulted end over end multiple times, the credit of his safety goes all out to Don Dial. For this reason, he noted how he remains forever grateful to Don, as he indeed saved his life. Giving out his confirmation on the risks they take in engaging in streetcar racing, he reveals that the disclaimer, usually displayed at the beginning of the show, is not in any way a joke. According to him, they know what they are doing is dangerous, but they chose to do it anyway. It is a risk which they are willing to take, and definitely one which he is going to take again. Conclusively, he extends his appreciation to his concerned people, admitting how he is enormously grateful to his friends, family, fellow racers, and fans for reaching out and showing support to him. While Big Chief continues to make waves with his enigmatic performance on every race, surviving intense crashes from time to time in cases alike, he keeps on with his dedication to his craft. More so, there have been many controversies about his personality too. How did he manage to rise to the limelight and maintain his highly revered, legendary position despite unending attacks and controversies about his name? Unknown secrets about the street racing king. Big Chief has been a prominent personality on Street Outlaws since the television show began airing in 2013. He was born on December 9, 1980, in Louisville, Kentucky, United States. His biological name is Justin Shearer. While he was just 12 years old, his family relocated to Oklahoma City, and he spent most of his early life there. Chief came into the limelight because of his appearance on Street Outlaws. However, aside from earning him the popularity of being a media personality, he uses the platform well to project his prowess and skills as a car racer. Worthy of note is the fact that he has been a fan of street racing since he was a teenager. Consequently, he established himself as a successful street racing group member in Oklahoma City. Serving as a great achievement for him, while building up his fame and recognition, he bought his first racing car in 1972. It was a Pontiac Le Mans. However, he became part of the Street Outlaws in 2013. He literally joins this reality show because it focuses on giving street racers a chance to showcase their skills and take a closer look at their lives. Hence, Big Chief has become a well-known face in the television industry through this medium and has been a constant figure on the show since then. Just recently, he surprised his fans by not participating in 2 seasons of Street Outlaws. The fans of the show, in their concern, became restless when neither the racer nor the show's team put out a statement explaining his absence. His continuous absence prompted the fans to wonder if he had been removed from the show, but then it is impossible to tell whether he was removed from the show or left. Prompted by the fans' reactions to his absence on the show, he was prompted to share a video on his YouTube channel where he talked about the reasons he left. He alleged that he ultimately decided to leave Street Outlaws because he disagreed with the production. In his video, Big Chief revealed that he preferred the show to stay as street as possible while focusing on racing. But seeing how there is a rise in some authoritative but unfavorable rules, he noted in the video that he is not comfortable upholding them. According to Big Chief, the rules were not the best for the community. He stated that the direction in which things are going, the changes being made, and the way they are done do not seem to resemble something that he has helped to build so far from his early life journey as a legendary car racer and media star. Timely conscious of this fact, he has to make the decision not to stand up and defend the rules and decisions he never has and cannot agree with. Reacting to this allegation, one of the Street Outlaws cast members, James Goad, challenged Big Chief's allegations. He questioned Big Chief's claims and his character, and also accused him of being manipulative and making the show uncomfortable for other cast members. This leaves the situation with more riddles. In spite of this, regardless of whatever reasons, Big Chief's absence from Street Outlaws left many of the show's fans shocked. Therefore, what happened to him continues to be of interest to everyone. While he claimed that the rules were unfavorable, a fellow cast member accused him of being manipulative. What do you think about these intense street races? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos. Thanks for watching.